All
All
right,
right.
welcome to Rapid Fire Manufacturing. Today I have Gabe Kooyers. He has 20 years of experience bridging the gap between machining and education. As an advanced manufacturing instructor at Van Buren Tech, he's equipping the students with the knowledge that they need to get hands-on experience in CNC machining, Mastercam, running machines like Haas and Herco. And beyond the classroom, he's also mentoring students in FIRST Robotics, inspiring the next generation to pursue careers in manufacturing and STEM. Gabe, thank you so much for joining today.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Yeah. I wanted to start off and kind of get your background and your story and how you got into instructing and sort of your inspiration behind that.
Cool. Well, Van Buren Tech, where I work here, is a county-wide tech school, and we have 15 different schools that send students to us for half the day. And I was actually a student way back when that actually came from a local school and came over here. I saw machining as a route to engineering, and I was able to get an apprenticeship. I ended up getting my journeyman's card in plastic injection mold making. And then my teacher, who I sat on the advisory committee, my teacher was going to retire. So I'm like, hey, that sounds like a good gig. So I went ahead and started to go into teaching, worked halftime because they were actually going to shut down the program. The enrollment had gone down. And so I went to school halftime, worked halftime. And then once I got my teaching degree, went full-time teaching and never looked back.
That's awesome. So did you know pretty quickly, like, okay, this is the path I want to go down? As soon as you got involved with the students, you're like, this is rewarding, and fulfilling?
Right. And to see that spark, that just, they get it, the light bulb moment was just amazing. It was, you explain it, you go at it one route, and if they're not getting it, you come at another route. And then when they finally do, it's like, ding, and it's just very rewarding. It's really cool.
That's awesome. I actually met Gabe at IMTS. So he's walking by. We stopped and talked with him when I was at my previous company, but you could just see how interested he was in everything there. It's awesome to see that kind of spark, like you said.
Right. And and that was part of the whole shift that we went through about 2012. When I was in the shop, it was dark, cement floors, just dark and dirty. And what you see behind us is years of transformation to try to make the shift that advanced manufacturing or manufacturing in general is getting more high tech. It's brightly lit. Your holding tolerance is like no other. And yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I guess when it comes to the students too, how are you attracting them to get them into the program? Is it something that you have something set up where it's really just drawing them in?
Yeah, the biggest shift that we've had is just the looks of what manufacturing is. We have epoxy white floors, really bright lighting. Them walking into an environment where they're like, wow, this is cool. This looks high tech. That is the first big thing. Then 8th graders, we have 2 days in March where every 8th grader in Van Buren County actually come in, and all the doors are in all the programs. We have over 25 different programs here. All the doors are open and students are just wandering. Then in 10th grade, they meet with our counselors in between there. And in 10th grade, we have more focused, hey, let's check out 3 programs, 20 minutes each. The students get more of a feel of what that program would be like. And so then they come back in and they do a visit again 10th grade year, and then they're here 11th and or 12th grade year.
Oh, that's very cool. And I feel like at the 8th grade level too, that's got to spark a lot of interest for kids.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so cool to see them just wandering around. And I mean, at that stage, you're just trying to show them something cool, show them chips ripping, and they really like it. And then they get hooked.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you said it starts with the environment, kind of changing the environment to make it more appealing, right?
Yeah. And I mean, you talk to these kids' parents, and what do they think? Oh, yeah, my grandpa was in the shop and he always came back dirty and nasty. And oh, yeah, it was all dark. They think World War II, green machines. And you've got to make that paradigm shift of that's what manufacturing was. That's awesome. That got us through a lot of stuff. But now what manufacturing is going to looks a lot different.
Oh, absolutely. I was just in a shop on Friday and it was just immaculate. It was actually that bearing manufacturing company. But yeah, epoxy floors, just very clean. You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to, I guess, employment after too, how are you setting them up so these students they're completely prepared. They're ready to work in the shop.
Yeah, so that starts with I have what I've made a poster. It's up on the wall that is the 5 pillars of employment. Show up every day, work the full time you're there, willingness to learn, have a good attitude, and pass a drug screen. Those 5 things will take you from McDonald's to aerospace, right?
That's awesome.
And
I love
if
that.
if you have those 5 things, you can know nothing about what's out in the shop and have a job and they'll train you. But if you have those 5 things and knowledge of what's out in the shop, you're going to be golden. If you don't have those 5 things, you might get a job, but you probably will not keep a job with those without having those. After that, that's what I mainly preach in the classroom. Then we have a job placement coordinator that is the go-between, and they go out to industry. Industry calls him and says, hey, I've got 2 open positions, 3 open positions, or maybe I have students that are living on this side of the county. Okay, what companies within a 20-mile radius of where they live are interested in having maybe a co-op or a job shadow, where job shadow, they just go in for the day, see what it would be like. And then a co-op is, hey, instead of coming here 4 days a week, you're going to go there. And then on that 5th day, you come back into the classroom. Maybe they have questions like, hey, I saw him doing this. What's this about? Or, hey, I heard that you're working on these machines. Let's tune you up on this or that, And then finally, after school, that job shadow is an amazing opportunity for both the employer and the student. It's like, it can be a 2-month, a 3-month, a 6-month job interview. Yes, they're paying you to work and you are working for them, but they're seeing if they want to invest in you long term, or you're seeing if you want to invest in them long term.
That's cool. And I'm sure with the 5 pillars, more than likely, these companies are like, please join us.
We are very blessed to have amazing business partners. And yeah, what's really nice is I've got them on my cell phone. I can call them up. Hey, I got, Johnny or Jenny is really interested in doing this. What do you think? And I know which companies are, great welcoming environments for young people. And it's really a cool partnership.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Now, what kind of programs can kids get into before taking your class? Is there anything that there's research before or some online classes they can take?
Yeah. So before they get to my class, over the last 20 years, they have really shifted away from having any shop classes, any mechanical classes in the local schools because of funding, because of a push to 4-year education, etc. So now CTE programs, career technical education programs in a center like this is their first shot sometimes of getting into these hands-on careers. So it is difficult because there isn't like really good feeders. I guess the best feeder program has been robotics in the local schools. We used to do robotics for the longest time here. That was when we first started robotics, we were the only one in the county. Now all the local schools have started robotics teams. So now we've stepped away actually at the tech center from doing robotics so we could just focus on machining. And then now the students are coming to us going, oh yeah, we work on a robot and etc. And then I'm like, cool, here's how you machine parts so that they can machine parts for their robot.
That's cool. And then they could probably say, oh, this one's machine tending and all that cool stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if we had much. I know we have a career center, Polaris, which is phenomenal for machining. But yeah, like you said, I think they took out a lot of the programs in schools. So as far as 2025 goes, how's the outlook on students getting people in, not only at your Van Buren, but kind of across the U.S.? Have you seen any sort of shift there?
Yeah, I've seen a real shift in the fact of it's like we're finally turning the wheel to show that, hey, not everybody has to go to a 4-year school. You know what I mean? There is amazing careers in manufacturing, in the trades, and maybe we don't need to go to 4-year school. I mean, that's making that shift and seeing that pendulum swing from when I first started is really, really encouraging.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What are, I guess, out of the job opportunities, what do you see as popping up the most?
Automation, obviously. Automation companies, we have 2 big hitters in the area, then job shops underneath that, and then the constant that's always been really strong in this area is mold shops. My class is best because the students use the Titans of CNC curriculum. The students are drawing the part, programming it, setting it up, cutting it, inspecting it. So the students entering into like a job shop where they're doing it all anyways.
Yeah.
That's a very close simulation. Next would be automation company, Trimation, that I work with. It's just been amazing. Those type of fields where the students are programming it, setting it up, and running it. Those, have been really awesome for us.
That's awesome. So with the automation, do you have some specific details that you kind of explain to your students as well?
With the automation, we haven't branched into machine tending robots and things like that yet. The automation companies, like I said, Trimation and then Edgewater on either side of us in the county, those companies are building big automation machines. So they're going to be machining components that will go on the bigger machine. They proof out the machine and then they send them on.
Got it. Okay. And now student-wise, so you said there has been a kind of an increase in the amount of students attending. How do you think the community and even the U.S. in general can increase that, activity to draw people in?
Yeah, getting the word out there, making your environment a place that is bright and exciting and invigorating. So much has to do with, for years I taught this way where it's manual machines and then you graduate up to CNC machines. Well, with students nowadays growing up with a phone in their hand, with technology being able to be rapidly accessed at all times, I've found in my situation, if I was to tell a student, you're going to stick over on the manual machines until you graduate up to the CNCs, they're going to bail after a year. Okay. But what I've done is we get them right out on the CNCs. Then I do 2 of the Titan parts. Then they're back to the manuals, and they're actually more excited to go to the manuals because they're like, oh, well, how do you do this? I'm like, well, can you dynamic with 2 hands? You know what I mean? And they're like, well, no. So I said, well, there's different processes, different procedures to do it. And they're more excited to get to the manuals. And then it's a constant because I have 3 mills and 1 lathe. I don't have 14, 16 CNCs for them to all run on. So it's, hey, one day we're hopping over here, we're cutting out a part. Okay, the next day the manual machines are filled up. So I'll go ahead and I'll draw something. I'll draw in the Titans Building Blocks Academy ahead in the future. Then the mills are opened up. So I'll go ahead and do my manual project I'm working on. Oh, the CNCs are open. So I'll hop over here and I'll do a part here.
That's really cool. Last thing, what advice would you give yourself kind of going back into this machining, manufacturing, instructing world?
Let's see. I would say, for the first 15 years, about the last 5 years, right? I really started to go get after it, get out there, reach out online on LinkedIn, and really started to go after it. I would say get after it earlier. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's I think what I'd say is don't be afraid, don't be nervous. I always had that feeling like, oh man, I'm the teacher for industry. I need to come across as I know everything, right? And I kind of felt inferior, right? 5 years ago, I kind of made that shift, and a perfect example is CNC lathe right here, right? I am a mill guy. I love mills. I just get it. I understand it. But lathes, I am nervous about. And I am not so confident on them, right? So it's been a process. I've had other teachers help me. I asked industry to help me. That's something I would also say is don't be afraid to reach out for help. Like, hey, I want to be awesome. I want to be great, but help me, please. You know what I mean? That's something where I should have done that sooner.
That is great advice, Gabe.
Yeah.
And we are out of time. For those of you watching, stay tuned for more industry leaders like Gabe. Thanks,
Great.
Gabe.
Thank you very much.